little bit earlier than usual. A lot of guys are busy this week. We got D-Lou on here, though, coming. This is pretty much the perk pod for Dustin because
Park Pod.
he just got done with surgery. It is Clemson week. It feels like a really weird week. NBA draft was last night. This whole year is really odd, but we still have a lot to discuss. Carlos might be joining us later on in this episode. Nate cannot and Austin cannot, but heading into next week, we should be back on regular co-host staff here. But let me introduce Dustin Lewis, our lead writer and editor. What's going on, D. Lewis? Just me and you tonight.
Yeah, what's up, Logan? I got half a shoulder and I could show up for this podcast, so I can't hear any excuses tonight, honestly.
Yeah. What is up with? I mean, what's up with all the excuses? I mean, these guys. You
Work?
just had
Like
surgery.
what is that?
Yeah. What is work? I will tell you, Dustin. You're feeling good. You're on Perkies. I feel really good because I just took my exam, one of my last ones, and got a 91 on it somehow out of nowhere. So I'm feeling phenomenal right now. I'm also counting down the actual minutes, maybe even seconds, to where before I'm walking inside of the stadium in Jacksonville to watch my Steelers play on Sunday. So I am feeling really good tonight. I feel amazing.
Yeah, dude, 91%, that'd be like top 3 grades I've ever gotten in my life. So really, really proud of
No,
you.
trust me. Me and you are a lot alike in the academic area. That's why I'm saying a 91 right there. We'll take that any day of the week. I get mad at people that are saying, "Oh my God, I got an 85." Like, all right, me and you would literally go out and celebrate that.
Yeah. They're like, I'm gonna get a 3.3 this semester and my average is a 4.1 and now I might not be able to get into my graduate school. My graduate school? I'm barely here.
I'm barely in this school that I'm in, undergrad.
Somehow I got out. Can't
Yeah,
believe it.
I can't stand those people. I just don't even know really I can't say really anything back. I'm like, cool for you. I drank 8 beers while watching the last Florida State football game. There's my cool thing I can tell you. But yeah, it's
My
just
cool
me.
thing is I can take these 40 Percocets and see what happens.
Please don't do them at once, though. We would like
Of
indefinitely
course
lose our
not.
lead
I
writer.
follow the dosage that the doctors provide.
Thank you for doing that. But I know people are probably tired of us talking about our life. I don't blame you guys. So I say we jump into first off. I know a lot of people are. It was just about 30 or so minutes ago. We dropped a nugget regarding Luke Allmeyer, the current Florida State 4-star commit quarterback. And we dropped that to our Patreon members inside of our Discord. You guys can go check out that nugget. We don't really want to share it right now here live or through the podcast, but you guys can go over there and check it out inside of our Discord for all of our awesome Patreon members. So,
Yeah, Nate said he will literally beat Logan's ass if he talks about the nugget on the podcast. So
yeah, and I don't really want that to happen. I think Nate is still trying to come up maybe for the Virginia game. I just don't want to risk it. So I'm not going to note anything on it here live for anyone. But if you're in our Discord, you are lucky. You already know the news on the situation with Luke Altmaier, Florida State's 4-star quarterback commit. All right, hey, let's just see real quick. Dustin, it's Clemson week. How's it feel?
um, it feels better with the drugs. I mean, if this was I'm glad that this was the week that my surgery occurred because if this was a sober week, it'd be pretty depressing. But I mean, I think as we get closer and closer to Saturday, Florida State fans know what to expect for the most part.
Yeah, no, I think everybody does. I was on the phone with my dad earlier today, and we just, we're chatting about this game, and I told him, we already know how this game is going to go, but fans still going. I mean, you're still in the stadium, you still get to watch football. I'm looking forward to. I'm grateful I get to go and just enjoy. It's supposed to be a beautiful day, and there's just nothing better than being able to be there and watch football, even if it's going to be a different kind of material, not so positive on Florida State's front. It's still going to be a football game being played in Doak, and Doak is gorgeous stadium, and I'm looking forward to it. And plus, it's at noon. All right. The worst thing about it is that you have to get up at at 9 and open a beer. That is the worst thing. So that's that main negative about this for me heading into Saturday. But before we get into the preview of Florida State versus number 4 Clemson, let's jump through the quick hitters of the week. Corey Durden is leaving the program at Florida State. From some stuff we've heard, intel, he plans on transferring, but he does. He is obviously intending on playing college football next season, but he is going to be leaving the program at Florida State University. Obviously, a guy that's a veteran who has played right alongside a lot of the guys on the D-line for multiple seasons now, is no longer going to be with the program. Is this coming to a shock to you, Dustin, or no?
I wouldn't say necessarily a shock, especially after last week where he missed that North Carolina State game. But the thing today, a lot of people have been tweeting me. Well, not a lot of people, but some people tweeted me and said that Durden could come back after that statement. But I mean, if you just read the way it was written, that was a statement that he's clearly leaving Tallahassee, even though he does plan to play college football somewhere next season. So we'll just have to see that. But no, I wouldn't really call it a shock at all, especially ever since Nate published that list. I mean, I think we're all expecting the guys that were on that list to decide if they're going to stay with the program or not, and this was just another decision.
Yeah, no, and this is something that was also listed on Nate's, our lead recruiting insiders, uh, list that he said to expect, and Corey's name was listed on that, so it's not really too much of a shock for people that are in the know and keeping themselves updated. And Corey and that whole defensive line unit has really kind of not been what we thought it would be during this offseason. They were really hyped up. They were even hyped up going into last year. They called themselves the Mob. They come into this season. They looked pretty well last season, but you thought, man, they have another year under the belt. The chemistry is going to be great. Heading into year 2, boom, it falls out flat, and the defensive unit has really dropped down. And I'm now wondering and going to keep an eye on the Odell Higgins situation there too, because a lot of people are expecting this might be his last season. You got a guy that was committed to Florida State and mainly to Odell Higgins there. It could, this be a sign that Odell Higgins is also en route to be done, because we are obviously not going to see Marvin Wilson for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and it feels like Marvin Wilson has been the main player that we've criticized in that group because he is the star. But you look at Durden's play as well, he's obviously dropped off. And in his note, I thought it was interesting. He noted that I think he had a shoulder injury and that it hadn't been rehabbed correctly because of the whole COVID situation or something like that. So, maybe he was hurt this season, but regardless, not a good look for that defensive line that, we've been calling out all season after all the hype they got from January to August.
Yeah, no. It was just kind of definitely a disappointing season for that whole defensive line as a front. And, it will be interesting to see now guys stepping up. Obviously, Corey Durden did not travel this last weekend to NC State, but you're definitely going to start seeing a different kind of rotation. And I think definitely moving for the rest of the season, Norvell knows that this is most certainly, we're beyond the youth movement slogan. It is full on, just kind of playing who fits where, what to look like for the future, and different kind of positions defensively. So Corey Durden, that was announced earlier today from him via his social media. Corey Durden no longer with the program at Florida State University.
That's 2 names on the list for Nate.
That is 2 down for him. That is 2 down. Next up on the docket here, we've got obviously some other news. It just kind of just keeps on going. It just keeps going, Dustin. It just doesn't
Week by
stop.
week.
Yep, it just doesn't stop. We don't know what Florida State did to deserve this, but holy smokes. Florida State quarterback, freshman, I should say, Chubba Purdy, out for the rest of the season due to complications with his previously surgically repaired collarbone. We got news. I got a text earlier. What was that? God, when was that? Tuesday morning? Was it Tuesday morning? I don't remember. that he was dealing with some complications with his collarbone, and it was told that he was no longer going to be played. He's going to be out indefinitely, and it was not going to play another snap for FSU this season. First off, just take on that. You're not going to see Trevor Purdy for the rest of the season, Dustin.
I mean, it sucks. We finally got to see some of his potential last week in that loss to NC State. He made a couple big throws in the fourth quarter, and finally, Florida State fans were like, "All right, so that's what we were expecting to see from this kid." And then a couple days later, bang, he's out for the season. So it's really disappointing because I think people were interested to see how Purdy could build on that stretch in that fourth quarter. Maybe not against Clemson, but in the last two games against Virginia and Duke for sure. So it sucks.
Yeah, it just is nonstop throughout this year that Florida State is getting nailed with terrible news. I've never seen anything like it. I thought maybe like the last 2 years have been brutal for Florida State, receiving injuries, how the games are going, the play, dealing with the refs, blah, 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 like everything. But this season has been an utter just like kick in the head with everything going on. I mean, it's just been extremely brutal, and I think we got signs of it during this offseason. I think whenever got signs of the team not really, or some of the players not really having immediate chemistry or not getting along, maybe with Norvell, maybe that's when the signs of it started. But I mean, it has just been like bad news and just kind of unfortunate events for Florida State University this year on the football side of things. It is something I've never seen before.
Yeah, and even Norvell said in a press conference, I want to say it was earlier today or yesterday maybe, he said that he's never seen anything like this and in regards to the injuries that the program has had throughout this season. And like you just said, Logan, I think it points back to the offseason and I mean just how strange it was for Florida State transitioning to basically a completely new coaching staff, an entirely new strength and conditioning staff, nutrition program, and the players having to deal with that transition while also being away from the school because of the COVID restrictions that were in place. So you just really didn't get that proper offseason conditioning. You didn't get your spring practice, your summer conditioning was done at home. I mean, you're having to send out the meal plans and bar what is it?
the the workout,
Different yeah, like
the
meals,
dumbbells. Oh yeah,
protein powders, all kinds of stuff to the players instead of having them in house to monitor them and make sure they're doing all that stuff correctly. And I mean, this is just what it leads to. It leads to an irregular season, like something we've never seen before. And I mean, it's just disappointing that it had to happen, especially in a transition year where everything is already different.
yeah, and I think a lot of people obviously during this offseason understood maybe what was going to impact teams. Definitely for any team, it can be Alabama, Clemson that are having to go through COVID, all this kind of stuff with players not being around either around the university or if they are, how the restrictions they're going to have. They can't be to the gym. They have to work out on their own. They have to have dumbbells sent to them, weights, blah blah blah. They got to share weights with one another at workouts 2 times a
Yeah.
day. Like,
Saw the video of them like pushing trucks,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
doing all kinds of things they could to somehow exercise. And I mean, in the end, it just doesn't replicate what you would be doing each day with your strength and conditioning staff in the weight room and on the field for conditioning and things like that.
No, that
Just not. It's not even close.
Yeah, and I whenever we end up recapping this season, I want to kind of go through a timeline and just really note on the different kind of season this was. I mean, it was just unreal. But going back to Purdy, we obviously get to see a few signs of him here and there. Obviously, a true freshman, got a lot of work to develop and with different things and different plays. But he's a guy that is probably most certainly going to be your future starting quarterback. Right now, obviously, Jordan Travis and Purdy are the two guys right now that you have as your potential starters heading in 2020. But Purdy is a guy that I think right now, and looking at recruiting, Purdy is the guy I think moving forward that fits the system, and that is a Norvell kind of half and half guy that he recruited, I should say, really late in the process, but still nabbed him from Louisville. You know, now, moving forward for the rest of the season, you're looking at literally two guys. James Blackman's gone. Chubba Purdy's out. You're looking at Jordan Travis and Tate Rodemaker, Dustin, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, Jordan Travis throughout this entire season, he's had injury concerns of his own, and there's no real guarantee that he's going to make it through the rest of the season, depending on how many hits he takes, especially going into this Clemson game. I think right now Travis is the projected starter, and I mean, we know the offensive line that Florida State has in front of them. We saw it against NC State. There wasn't a lot of confidence brought from there in their first game without Devontae Love Taylor in the starting lineup. So that's going to get even worse against what is a very good Clemson defense. And Travis could take some shots and get hurt, and then you're just left with Rodemaker for the rest of the season. But yeah, I mean, it's not the ideal scenario, obviously, Logan. So
no.
Florida State, they're just going to have to work with it and hope that they can generate some success from that position without another quarterback going down with a season-ending injury in these last 3 games.
Yeah, no, I agree. Look at this. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Carlos, you're joining us for the depression segment. We're going through the depressive segment, and you are the best at these right here. What's going on, Lowe's? Carlos Williams, 2013 national champion, is here with us this
Welcome
evening.
to
What's
the Perk
up?
Pod.
What's up, baby?
How y'all boys doing tonight?
Doing good. Dustin's on his perks after surgery.
What kind of surgery do you have?
Shoulder surgery.
Wow. We know where that comes from. Next subject.
Wow. Wow.
But we're talking about Chubba Purdy. Obviously, we learned that he is no longer going to play for the rest of the season, dealing with a complication due to his collarbone surgery. So right now we're kind of just discussing that, and moving forward, you're looking at Jordan Travis, who has also been through the ringer and is hanging on by a thread, and then you got Tate Rodemaker. Carlos.
I mean, whoever can play can play. I mean, I obviously, at this point, I would treat the rest of the season like spring practice. Mm-hmm. Who wants some reps? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who wants to go throw a couple balls? Who wants to run the ball a little bit? Who wants to, take the helm of the offense real quick? Like, who wants to get some reps, some meaningful reps against a quality opponent who's going to come out there and put 1,000 points on you? So, I mean, that's what it's about right now. Who looks the best? Who controls the offense the best? Who's putting the most points on the board? I think that's what it's about right now. So, I mean, I don't care who's taking snaps as long as they're kicking field goals at every end of the drive,
Yeah.
I just like points against Clemson.
Yeah, and I think quarterback situation-wise, I think you are going to see guys at Wildcat, Corbin, maybe even some packages, which we've heard of, some things running around of Travis J., who obviously played a little bit of quarterback during his days at Madison County. Get back there and take some snaps, but they're going to have to find something creative, because taking shots like this weekend is just not going to be fair to a true freshman. If Tate Rodemaker gets thrown in there, and even if Jordan Travis gets in there, there's got to find a way to get him out of the pocket as quickly as possible, because right now Florida State's offensive line is struggling hard against opponents that shouldn't be really that tough on their defensive line front, and it just shouldn't be too much fun to watch on Saturday. They got to get them out of the pocket. Got to figure out a way to move them out quickly, I think. Carlos, what do you think they should do for the rest of the season? Like you were just talking about it, but going more in detail, you think this should be kind of like a spring move right now? Do you think this should be their spring right here? Try to figure out which young guys are really going to be the future.
Who wants reps?
Yeah.
Who want them? Who want reps? There's a lot of them out there to get right now. I mean, there's football games to be played. There's a lot of reps left out there on the field. They said our young guys playing a lot isn't a movement. I mean, but they give us the best chance to play. I mean, look at the young kid 3 with the interception in the back of the end zone. That's pure effort, man. Mm-hmm. That ball was incomplete, but he wanted the interception. That brought some juice back to the team. I mean, stuff like that. But it's reps. It's all reps. Who wants reps? Who wants to put points on the board? Who want to make stops? Who wants to make plays? I think that's kind of what it boils down to.
You think in the same way too, D-Lou? Spring movement, no longer youth movement, just spring movement. That's what we're gonna call it.
Yeah, I mean we've talked about it throughout the season. These veterans, they're just not performing up to the standard that you expect at Florida State. And I mean, this season you're 2-6, you're on a 3-game losing streak. I mean, it is what it is as you head into these last 3 games. I think the smartest thing to do is play the guys who are going to be with this program next year, the guys that you're trying to develop to be the future of Florida State. And yeah, so I mean, I pretty much agree with everything Lowe said. I want to see some of those young guys get reps, especially down there in the defensive line and the linebacking core.
Next up on the docket, DB just keeps on rolling. Miko Dotson, but this was kind of expected a little bit. Miko Dotson is going to be out for the rest of the season. He does plan on returning to Florida State in 2021, which is some good news there. I think he is a future starting cornerback heading into next season for sure, in my opinion. I think I saw enough of him while he wasn't even healthy. He wasn't even healthy this whole season, and he showed me enough to where he needs to be. Probably he could have been opposite, I think, for the rest of the season if he was healthy, opposite of Asante Samuel Jr. But Miko Dotson out for the rest of the season, going to try to heal up and be ready to go for 2021.
I mean, that's a good corner, but that's that. I mean, I like Nah. Let him play. I mean, I wanted him to get more reps than he had been getting. You know, I want to see him play. I like Green when he was on the field when he's healthy. So, I mean, I don't know, man. That just sucks. Like, I mean, it's good he's coming back again, but, like, I don't know. It's not much to even say about the season anymore. Like, it's almost, it's a struggle. It's like it's a fucking struggle to find the words to even say to describe what's going on. You, like, Durden, you're opting out. But honestly, I want to ask Durden, what kind of impact you made all season this year, Durden?
You got half a sack.
Beginning of the season, you opted out since season started.
Yeah, just like tell him, Dustin Lewis, tell him half a sack.
I mean, let's be real. Let's look at the numbers. Where's Nate at? Where's Nate?
I know.
He's got.
You feel me?
He's got restaurant duties,
like, bro. But I'm like, what kills me is like you see other guys opting out across the country. Go look at those guys' numbers. Jamar Chase sitting out because he's a first-round pick. Like, you get what I'm saying? Those guys that sat out before season started because they were top-tier picks. Yeah, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to bump some bruises. I don't even want to go to class right now. I want to opt out and work out and go get drafted in the first round. The past 2.5 years has showed that. Like, we have nobody that can do that. What are these guys? What are you opting out for, Durden?
Because he's transferring, bro.
To go where?
I don't know where he's gonna go, but it's just another person quitting on the program.
Going to Homestead, going to the crib U, Newberry. You going back to the crib? Cause I'm just be real.
And some whispers that he might go to UF. I don't see how that would happen.
But what you?
That's what I'm saying. He's got half a sack.
Is he gonna practice dummy? UF gonna use him as a trap dummy. Like he's just gonna run upfield like they do when they run trap. Like, because it's all he's been doing all year is getting blocked.
We watched that tight end drive him off the ball against Miami. We broke that down here on the podcast.
Corey Durden is transferring.
That is the news of the week, Los. I mean, like I said, this.
You see why I jumped on the podcast late? Because I got to deal with shit like this.
Yeah, I'm glad we already went through the Durden thing. You would have already been high off the friggin' rocket right now. We would have been full sending
kids trash.
But yeah, so Miko Dotson out for the rest of the season. I just want to put something in here because we don't have it on here really, and then we'll jump into NBA draft and then.
Yeah, just real quick on Dotson. He was a guy that we were expecting to really make an instant impact in that defensive backfield. Led the nation, or led the FBS in interceptions in 2019 at Florida Atlantic before coming to Tallahassee. So we were really excited to see what he could do back there. And then he got banged up during fall camp, and just really could never get back fully recovered. And now you get another injury here. I think he only played in 3 games this season, so it's just really disappointing. Glad that he'll have this offseason to recover and come back, though, because next year I think we could see that impact that we were expecting to see this year if he is healthy. Because, I mean, he's a very good player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed. Peace out. I'm not disappointed. I'm just, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I expected him to play a lot more. I expected quality reps. I didn't expect it to phase out like that, with the injuries and stuff like that. But I mean, him and Green, the fact they're going to be able to come back and get some good quality reps next year, it's a lot.
That's true. That's a better way to look at it because he's getting hurt now during this 2-6 season. That's basically a wash, and he gets a chance to come back and
he's
see what Florida State does next year.
I mean, he's going to come back being a super senior, more maturity. He's understanding what he wants out of the season. Like, he's been to another D1 school and transferred in, so he knows he's transferred up to be looked at. So I like his mindset. I like the way he played. Also, you get Dent back next year. He's going to be playing more consistently. There's more reps for him to get, like I said, and also Green too. So, I mean, I'm not too concerned about the DBs or the linebackers. I don't know the depth on the defensive tackle situation. Like, I like the DNs. I like 5'5". I like the way he rushes. I think he's going to get more quality reps coming these next few games. But I mean, as far as youth goes, I like where we're going. I mean, I like a lot. The young guys are going to come in. They're going to get a lot of reps. And then, like I said before, treat it like a spring, man. Let these guys get reps. Take the losses because they going to be L's. I mean, unless Jesus come out there and walk across the Seminole Head, I don't see a W coming in Doak at 12 p.m. on Saturday.
You need a lot of Jesus.
I'll just be honest. Get these young guys a lot of reps. Take the hurt that comes with it. But growing pains. I mean, I think next year will be a better year for us as a Seminole Nation. But right now, treat it like spring. Get those guys those young reps and make sure. I mean, they're ready, prepared to play.
We'll jump into some positive news here, some good stuff here, which is in NFL, Knowles, real quick. I mean, it's been rocking between Dalvin Cook and Jalen Ramsey. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey absolutely locks down Metcalf. But first, I want to start off with your boy, Jay Boozy. Jameis Winston is now expected to lead the Saints to the playoffs. I'm stoked. I know what Jameis is going to give me. I've moved my likings of the Steelers, obviously, miles ahead, and then I've got now the Saints and then the Seahawks there. But I'm pulling for the Saints because Jameis Winston, I'm ready, I'm excited, and I think he's really going to flourish. And he's got Alvin Kamara to work with, man. I'm excited to watch him. And Michael Thomas. I'm excited.
Michael Thomas to work with. He has Taysom Hill to work with. I think he's finally in a system where guys are going to be accountable. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think about the time he threw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions, but like, Jesus, why is he throwing so many INT? Guys are not being accountable. You even seen earlier in the season with Tom Brady throwing the ball to Mike Evans, he just quit on the route. Yeah. So we go back a year ago. You can't just sit there and blame Jameis for the guy that leads the NFL in touchdowns and turnovers. A lot of that is accountability. You have receivers, which Michael Thomas is literally top 5, top 3 in the NFL. He's a monster, so he wants to have a great game. Emmanuel Sanders is another weapon. Yeah. Alvin Kamara. I mean, you got weapons across the board. Even Latavius Murray in the backfield, he's a veteran running back. He's going to get a couple carries to take the load off of Jameis having to throw the ball so much. So who knows? But I do know this. He is going to be prepared because he's a professional. He's always been a player that when it's time to play or in the ball's in his hands, he's going to be prepared. So I'm excited to watch him this Sunday. I'm very excited. I can't wait. I think Who Dat Nation is going to get a handful when he steps out on the field.
I completely agree. I mean, y'all know how I feel about Jameis. He's the reason that I am a Saints fan this year. So I'm very excited to see what Sean Payton can do with Jameis. I mean, he's one of the top offensive coaches in the NFL, and you guys just mentioned a lot of the skill players that are going to be there to complement Jameis. So it's a good fit for him. They're in a good position right now to make the playoffs, and he's just got to shake some rust off over this week and next week, and hopefully these last couple weeks of the regular season it'll be full go.
The Saints' next 3 games are the Falcons, Broncos, and Falcons again.
Win.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the 425 game against the Eagles has a really good potential.
That should be a win.
Carson Wentz is a bust.
Yep. And then we might see Jameis versus Patrick Mahomes if
that's a dub.
If Drew Brees is out still, which I think they should hold him as long as they can.
Hey. Let's be fans. Let's not talk crazy.
Hey,
the Bucks is not Bucks, but Saints aren't beating. No, they're not beating the Chiefs.
Oh, sorry, that was the Percocet. My bad.
Yeah, yeah. You might see Jameis and Mahomes on the field, but you won't see the Saints beating the Chiefs.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens then.
No,
we'll see what happens then.
No,
we'll see what happens.
It could happen.
I think it could. I think it could happen.
You think the Saints will beat Pittsburgh?
Hey, they come into No.
You think the Saints? Okay,
no,
then.
Well, I ain't that dumb.
What
make you think the Saints will beat the
Chiefs?
I don't need Percocets to know that.
What makes you think the Saints will beat the Chiefs?
First of all,
if the Saints won't beat Pittsburgh.
All right, here we go. Chiefs coming in. They're going to be coming into New Orleans. By this time, the Saints on a 4-0 run? Yep, 4-0 run with Jameis. That's all I need to know, really. That's all I need to know. Jameis will take care of it.
Your particular brand of crack, my man, is very cheap. If it makes you believe that.
Feeling good, baby. And I'm excited to watch Jameis and what he's going to do with that offense. I think it's actually going to be a little bit more explosive in New Orleans because we see that Drew Brees obviously has been his arm has just kind of lost it, definitely going down the field. So I think this offense is going to be a little bit more explosive, and they're going to try to run some packages down the field a lot more.
My one fear is seeing too much of Taysom Hill.
Oh, that was so stupid seeing him in there for that long on Sunday.
I mean, that could be the one fear. I mean, he does do a lot for that offense. So just seeing him in the game could, I don't know, who knows?
Yeah, and you can use him at Wildcat, but we saw that using him to throw the ball is just not going to work. That's just not going to work for long. I think.
Yeah, he's more of a gimmick more than anything.
Yeah,
I think people are starting to figure him out a little bit more.
Yeah, defense it's not really that much to work with as long as you've got schematically prepared for him. So I'm excited. I'm ready to see Jameis do its thing there, and a lot of people give him hate, but Jameis over Tom Brady any day of the week. Up next, let's see here. Number 2, Jalen Ramsey. You think you could run a route on Ramsey right now, Los?
If I could run a route on Ramsey, I play running back. Ain't no way. I don't need the lineup out there for what? He ain't never gonna have to stick me unless he in zone coverage.
I'm just saying. You think you could take him?
I think I'll run through his soul.
Jesus.
We're gonna have to get Ramsey on here to discuss that.
This
offseason.
Logan, if you want to stir the pot, I don't see too many people that want to run against me that many times. You want to be honest, You can air that shit all you want to. I don't see too many people that want to run into me. I'm being honest. Like I pull up the tape. I've done it. I don't see too many people that want to do that. Yeah. Now, I don't run routes for a living, but I do run people over for a living. So I don't think he's gonna want to tackle me like face to face 30 times a game.
Yeah. No. He's having a phenomenal season though over there.
We were just hoping you would compliment him.
I brought it on though. I'm the one that brought it on.
No, watching him shut down Metcalf was after the week Metcalf had before, how he looked to seem to be unstoppable, and then going against that is Revis type. That is 2006 Cromartie type football. That's old school Champ Bailey. Sean Springs. That's old school. Shut down the side of the field. We're gonna play 4 over here and man over here, and that doesn't happen anymore. Jalen Ramsey, since he's been in the NFL, they start doing that in Jacksonville. His game has only gotten better. He's only gotten better.
Yeah, it's
scary how good he can be. Malcolm Jenkins was a corner he first got in the league and moved to safety. Now he's playing 99% of the snaps all year. So who knows what Ramsey could turn into over these next couple years. But right now, he's the best corner in the league, hands down.
Yep. Sign me up.
Hands down.
Dustin Lewis, Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, he's pretty good at football.
Yeah, no, watching him take down Metcalf was really fun to watch, and it's actually not really fun to watch. It's pretty boring, but that's when that's how we
fun to watch if you like DBs.
Yeah, no, if you like DBs,
because he shut him down, and he got paid for it this offseason.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was cool watching him on Hard Knocks too, and his new pad that he was looking at getting. I think he's gonna have some fun over there on the West Coast. But yeah, these two Knowles had a really they have a Jalen Ramsey's having a great season, and we'll see what Jameis Winston has in the tank for him getting ready to get started with the Saints as being your starter on Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons, which hopefully they rout that living crap out of those fools in Atlanta. Any other Knowles in the NFL that I'm missing, that I'm not recognizing?
The only undefeated Seminole in the NFL.
Well, Vince Williams is Vince Williams, baby.
Thank you.
I was
Still undefeated.
Hey,
Blitzburg, undefeated.
about to go 10-0.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, he had a big hit on Sunday, didn't he? God dang.
He did.
Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to get him on soon. I actually talked to him today on the phone. He was getting ready to go out to practice, so I'm probably going to catch him after the game this weekend and see if he's going to have some available time to hop on the podcast with us and chat it up with us.
Yeah, tell him we can do it any day. That we'll just hop on here whenever, and we'll just get him on, and we'll just, I'm not gonna fanboy. I'm not gonna fanboy.
I'll make sure you have your moist towelettes and your lotion next to you.
Now he's definitely not getting on.
Most definitely are.
No, see now I'm
definitely are.
gonna be there Sunday. I haven't said it enough yet, but I'm gonna be there Sunday. I'm excited to watch. Obviously, Vince play, that whole defense. Just watching, a team like this play has been phenomenal, and it's made me feel so much better. If the Steelers were like playing like how they were last year, it just goes to show though how much of Big Ben is literally is glue for this team, and he's just so damn smart. But I tell Vinny we'll link up after the game. I don't know what we got to do, but I got to dap him up. But I don't know how that works with COVID. That probably is a complete. That ain't gonna happen. But yeah, I'm looking forward to being there. And Duval on Sunday, baby. What else is left on here? That's pretty much it for NFL. Let's jump into NBA stuff, D-Lou. Obviously, me and Austin were on live last night, which was actually a really fun experience. It was nice to actually have a really good time last night regarding Florida State athletic team. Male, I should say. Male sports.
Two lottery picks, man.
First time in program history.
First time in program history. Patrick Williams selected number 4 overall by the Chicago Bulls. Tied for highest selection in program history with Dave Cowens, which was a 1970 by Dustin Lewis's team, the Boston Celtics.
What?
The Boston. They're busting the playoffs always. So I said that. The Boston Celtics, Dustin. So, but yeah, Patrick Williams, number 4, going to the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, it was very. I would say, once we got into that 4 range last night, that was originally when Austin had been talking about that was when Patrick Williams draft started, and he could go from like 4 to, I want to say it was 9 or so. But even still, I mean, I was a little surprised to see him go that early in the draft. I just wasn't expecting it with so many other players on the board. Regardless, I mean, the Bulls got a great player. People were ragging on him for not starting a game during his college career, but I thought Leonard Hamilton summed it up best. No, let me finish it. Yeah. People were saying like, "Oh, this guy never started a game. He's going to be a bust." But like after the draft, a Bulls reporter talked to Leonard Hamilton on the phone, and he summed it up best. He gave a quote. He said, "Patrick Williams didn't start games; he finished games," which I thought was just a very powerful quote. Because ending the game in winning time and those clutch minutes is the most important thing anyway. But Patrick Williams, he joins in that young Bulls core of guys like Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, obviously Otto Porter, Lauri Markkanen, and Kobe White. So there's a lot of young guys there for new head coach Billy Donovan to work with, and Patrick is just going to fit right in at that wing position.
Gator coaching a Knoll over there too. Love to see it. Up next, Devin Vassell, boom, 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 selected number 11 by the San Antonio Spurs. Knowles go 1-11 here in picks. I mean, 4-11.
4-11.
I was about to say, Jesus Christ, 1-11. Wow, can't believe who else.
Anthony Edwards was almost a null though.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So that's what I was counting. But Devin Vassell is going to the San Antonio Spurs. Huge for him. Good for him. We're all happy for both of these guys.
Yeah, and I mean, what a fit for Devin to go to San Antonio, arguably, the best, if not one of the best franchises over the last 2-3 decades or so, with Greg Popovich, Tim Duncan, all those guys. And I mean, he goes from learning under Leonard Hamilton and his staff of veteran assistant coaches that have been around Tallahassee for a while to now Greg Popovich, one of the top coaches in NBA history. So, I mean, I just couldn't really imagine a better fit for Devin Vassell as he transitions over to the NBA, and really excited to see what he can do in San Antonio. I think Popovich is going to be able to bring a lot out in his game, and he really fits that system perfectly alongside guys like DeJounte Murray and DeMar DeRozan's going to be back, LaMarcus Aldridge. So there's some good young players and veterans as well for him to learn under in San Antonio, and it's going to be exciting to watch him grow. I wish he would have fell 3 more picks to the Celtics.
Yeah, I know. We were making fun of on the live last night. You weren't listening. I know because you would have texted us. But me and Austin were fingers crossed that he was not going to be
every year, man.
Celtics
Every year.
No,
I just want one Florida State player.
That's how I always am with the Steelers. I always want a Florida State player to get over there, but I'm now relying on Vince to hold it down for me for the time being. We'll get one soon.
He's gonna retire there.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Last Florida State player on the Celtics was like Von Wafer or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sadly, I don't even know who that is. Sadly.
It's not that sad.
Okay, good. Trent Forrest, fan favorite here in Tallahassee, signs a 2-way contract with the Utah Jazz. Boom. Really, we were kind of contemplating. We were trying to keep an eye on seeing if he'd go late in a second round time, but ends up signing a 2-way contract with the Utah Jazz. Congratulations to him. I think a guy that actually Patrick Williams we also had on Hear the Spear, but these guys have been phenomenal ambassadors for Florida State University, and definitely Trent Forrest, man, winningest player in program history right there.
Yeah, and like Vassell, I thought that he went to a team that really suits his game extremely well, because when you think about the Utah Jazz, you really think about defense and the culture that Quinn Snyder has instilled on that side of the ball for them. And Trent Forrest, I mean, he's a defense-first point guard that turns that defense into fast break offense. So I think he's going to fit well on that roster. Obviously, they've got guys like Donovan Mitchell, trying to think, Mike Conley opted in, Rudy Gobert, Joe Ingles. So there's some good fits. I mean, that's a squad that's definitely going to be back.
That's a playoff team.
Yeah, making a playoff push again in the Western Conference. That's a West contender right there. Trent Forrest, Trent Forrest on a 2-way contract, so he's going to be able to spend some time up at the NBA level and the G League. And if he does well enough in training camp and during his stints up with the main club at the NBA level, there's always a chance that he can make the full-time roster. And he offers a lot of skills, and I could see it happening depending on the injury luck that Utah has as the season goes on.
Tell me about, Dustin, how Leonard Hamilton can use this to his recruiting advantage, because this is absolutely nuts. Obviously, you start off with Patrick Williams, who was the first null picked last night, and he goes number 4 overall to the Chicago Bulls, and he didn't even start a game. I mean, the recruiting pitch right now for FSU basketball is already good. Obviously, we've seen with 5 stars after 5 stars, you've got high products with 4 stars committing left and right. Definitely during this summer, it was just like nonstop, but the recruiting pitch for Florida State and Hamilton right now has got to be just unfair a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that tweet. Yeah, the tweet from Austin, because I thought it summed up what you said perfectly. The recruiting pitch for Florida State, you can tell a prospect that you can play 22 minutes a game, not start a game, and still go top 5 in the NBA draft. So, I mean, just it's crazy. It's crazy because Patrick Williams, 5-star prospect that a year later he goes in the top 5. But then you look at Devin Vassell, who coming in wasn't really a highly ranked recruit. He was just a 3-star guy, and he was developed by this staff. And 2 years later, he's a lottery pick. So you can sell to the top guys like, hey, come in. You don't have to start a game necessarily, and you're going to go in the top 5 as long as you show some of your skill set. And then you can tell other guys like, hey, look, we can develop you and turn you into a lottery pick.
Mm-hmm.
So just the amount of stuff this staff can now use on the recruiting trail, it just grows even more. Because now back to back seasons, someone pointed out last night, Florida State has had a player drafted in the first round that did not start a game the previous season in college. One was Fiondu Cabangeli, and now Patrick Williams. So the way this Florida State basketball program has grown from 2015 to now, I mean the levels, it's insane.
Wait, is it Cabangeli or Cabangeli?
It's Percocet.
Oh goodness! No, you always have weird names with people's names. Like you saying weird. I don't know if like that's something you were doing on purpose or I don't know. That was.
I do like
hilarious.
jelly.
I know. We know that, but that was Cabangeli. That's hilarious. I love it. But yeah, let's move on from that. Obviously, 8 days, right, till tip off, Dustin, for here in Tallahassee. I
I
believe
think it's
8 or
either
7.
8 or 9.
8. I think last night was 9. I think it's 8 now. I think we're getting close to a week. Other than that, I think we're getting close to a week from tip off. So I think everybody's kind of getting excited for that. Obviously, they're going to get really excited. It's coming at a perfect time. Basketball season is after Florida State versus Clemson, which we're about to jump into, because everybody's going to be looking forward to watching games under Leonard
8
Hamilton.
days.
8 days. Yep. Here we go. 8 days.
Friday, November 27th, 3 p.m.
Okay. Beautiful. I am so looking forward to it. I'll be honest with you.
I got some tickets for the Indiana and the Florida game today.
Oh, nice. I'll
Where we sitting at?
Yeah, do you have ours?
I got 6 tickets, so hey, we'll just have to see how nice y'all are.
6?
Well, my dad got
Nice we
6
are.
tickets.
How
Yeah, I can bring one guest. Y'all better be real polite.
How nice. It ain't gonna be Nate, so he out the window. All right, Austin gonna be there on scene, so it's really out of me and Logan go kick rocks.
Wow.
Austin ain't gonna be able to walk with his hip injury.
Yeah, Austin's got 6 weeks out. Well, probably 2 months out. He can't
You're
walk.
rolling him around in a wheelchair.
Bro, how are y'all this young having surgery? Y'all ain't played no football. Y'all ain't getting knocked out. Y'all
I played
just
high
out here hurting
school.
each other.
Dustin played ball in high school.
High school counts, but I hurt my shoulder lifting.
What you lifted?
Waterburger.
Lois, I don't want you to clown me, Lois. I want to tell you how much I was trying to.
You're not Nate, so you're not gonna get clowned.
I was doing a max out. I was trying to do 315 and like pop my shoulder.
Nate, bro.
Pop my shoulder out of place
Only
whenever I was
clown
trying
Nate.
to rep it out.
Oh,
He's the
God.
only person that's getting clowned.
Los, if everybody hasn't known, Los is still after Nate. Just to make it more fun, makes the show more fun. Let's jump into it real quick to end off the podcast, gentlemen, because I need to make dinner. Los is already making dinner. He's making me hungry. Let's jump into it. Florida State versus number 4, Clemson. First initial thoughts before going into this. What is y'all's thoughts? What do y'all want to see? What's going on? Well, here we go. This is it.
Going into the game, I just want to see young guys get some reps. I want to see a smooth offense. I don't want to see a lot of penalties. I want to see guys making tackles. I want to see effort. We know it could be a blowout. We know it could be a game. It could be either or. We could see another North Carolina performance from our offense, from our team. So I just want them to go out and put forth an effort. Like go and play with a little bit of pride is what I want to see.
Yeah, I agree because we've seen this team get down before early in games and then pretty much just give up and get ran over the rest of the game. So you know what you're facing going up against Clemson, a team that is going to be in contention for the national title this season. Elite offense with Trevor Lawrence returning back, and he's going to be looking for some revenge since Clemson lost while he was out. And then their defense is pretty solid as well. So Florida State, they've got to be prepared to face adversity in this game. They've got to be prepared to get smacked in the mouth, and it's going to be all about how they respond.
Yeah. No, and my first initial thoughts going in this, Trevor Lawrence hasn't played in a good while. Kyle Trask is now your leading guy pretty much for the Heisman, and the contention there. I think he's going to be a little pissed off, and it always seems to be that way with Florida State. Whenever Trevor Lawrence has to face Florida State, it just always seems like Trevor Lawrence is like that week where he's going to get pissed off. We already know Dabo Swinney wants to put up points on Florida State. Carlos Williams talked about it during our instant reaction to Florida State versus NC State. Dabo Swinney hates Florida State. He's going to want to put up points. Trevor Lawrence is going to want to put up points because he is just getting, what is he, listed at number 3 now for the Heisman race. He's going to want to put up points, blah, blah, blah. And Travis Etienne, even though he's already leading the ACC all-time in rushing, congratulations, but Dalvin Cook is still your daddy. He's 10 times better than you. Go screw yourself. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking. On the other side, like Los, I want to see young guys. I want to see just keep that drive. Have some pride. You still got the Florida State Seminole head on you. You still got the spear on your helmet. Show some pride. Get after it. Let the youngins are going to make mistakes no matter what. But let there be some football play. Let actually look like a football team on Saturday. Don't look like high school JV. Just don't look like that. But that's what
I just don't. Just go play with some pride, man. I don't care if we lose. Honestly, I don't. At this point, like we said, it's the spring. Let's just go play some meaningful football, get some guys some quality reps, and let's see some splash, man. I don't care if you miss the pick. Go dive and try to tip it with your pinky. I don't care. Go make plays. And I think that's what people they want to go get drafted, but nobody's really making the plays to get any attention. And I think that's what I'm kind of confused on too. They're here at Florida State to come to this big time program to make plays and go play football. Nobody's making those plays to go get drafted. And so that's what I want to see on the next couple games. Some of these seniors is thinking about not coming back. Some of these juniors is thinking about not coming back. The guys that want to transfer after season, you got to put something on film. And so that's what I really want to see.
Well, let's jump into it. Score prediction time, gentlemen. Just us three, so the other guys can just get away with it, and they don't get to have theirs out here.
Who go first,
thousands. I'll go first. I think I said on the Mark Rogers show, and this whole route of this game is just going to be, it's just not really going to be too fair. I am interested to see who they're going to continue. I think I will make a bet right now that you're going to see four players take snap behind center on Saturday. 4 players.
How many quarterbacks?
2 quarterbacks. 2 quarterbacks.
2 quarterbacks.
Only got 2.
Well, you still got your walk on with Alex, but
we at home, baby. Walk-ons are in the stadium. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Walk-ons in the stadium, baby. It's a home game.
Yeah, but if you're in the chat right now watching live, put in your score predictions. But this game is it's Florida State versus Clemson. I just hate that that's how it is right now. I just hate that going back and watching the game in 2013 and there watching the stadium and watching Lowe's play all the Cats. Like it's just a whole 180 from where it is now. And Florida State's in a complete like rebuild. There's not really much to rebuild. You have to like go to a new lot and start building. There's not really like a rebuilding of anything right now. You have to go build a new building. Florida State 40 or Clemson 44. Actually no. Clemson 48. Florida State 13 for me. 48-13. Clemson Tigers. Dabo Swinney has a good time in Tallahassee.
We think we get that many stops?
Oh, I was saying that's a little low.
Yeah, you think we get that many stops, Logan?
I don't know. I'm just trying to be a little bit, I was really looking at that instant reaction.
63-17.
63-17 Los. 63-17. What happens? Who gets the touchdown for FSU? We need to know. Who gets the 2 touchdowns?
I'm going to go with 80.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Wilson. I'm going to go with him.
All right.
I'm gonna go with 8 Ball. I think 8 Ball touched it twice.
Does he need to see the ball more? Does he need to see the ball in the first quarter?
I think he has to, man. For us, we got to establish the run game. We're not a passing team. We run the ball, and I don't know why we're getting away from it.
Agreed. D-Lou, what you got, baby?
I'm gonna say, I don't see this game being particularly close. I think Clemson is going to be really motivated to make a statement on the road especially, their last game was at Notre Dame, that loss in overtime. They've had a bye week to kind of sit there and sit on that loss and just think about it. And now going into a game against a Florida State team, which frankly, isn't very good, I think they're going to try and take all their frustrations out on the Seminoles. We already noted on Trevor Lawrence returning, and Logan, you talked about his Heisman aspirations and how he's going to need some big performances and through the last couple of games of the season to get back in that talk. And I think it's going to start here. So I'm going to go Clemson. Clemson 61, Florida State 10, and the Tigers roll.
Say that again. Sorry, 63.
61 to 10.
61 to 10. Okay.
Florida State.
Florida State wins. All right, just heard it there first. 61-10. Florida State rolls Clemson in Doak Campbell Stadium on Saturday. The Percocets are really hitting. That's your excuse. Well, gentlemen, any last words for Florida State versus Clemson? That's it, right? Y'all good with that?
Hey, man, as a former player and a diehard Seminole, for the listeners out there, it's been a rough season, but understand what Norvell's trying to do. I believe he's a lot like the philosophy that Jimbo had. It's got to take to get his guys in. He's letting people go because they want to go. He wants people that want to be here. I remember being in Pittsburgh, and Tomlin said, we don't want hostages. We want willing participants. You know what I'm saying? We want guys that want to be a part of something great, that want to go out there and win, who coming into the office that focus on is about building a dynasty, building a championship program. So, I mean, for the people that listen, I know it's tough. It's been a long year, but there is some optimism. A lot of young guys are playing. We now have the opportunity for the next man to be up. So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm still going to be excited, and go Noles.
Well, guys, as always, you can listen to Hear the Spear on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. If you're on iTunes, feel free to rate 5 stars and leave a review. We'd really appreciate it a ton. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button or hit that like button so you'll be notified every time we release a new episode. Thank you guys, as always. It really means a lot for you guys listening. You guys enjoy the weekend. Enjoy Sunday football. Go Steelers, and we guys will see you on the instant reaction for Florida State versus number 4 Clemson. See you guys.
Bow.